So episode 3 of Asshoka came out.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Literally nothing to talk about. The interesting things to talk about was how the episode durations have gotten 33% shorter episode over episode over episode, and my interest in the show has gotten shorter of 33% episode over episode over episode. In this episode, literally nothing of value happens. This could have been a 2-minute scene. Literally 2 minutes. We have a scene where Sabine gets trained for an overly long amount of time just so we can go, well, Sabine's getting trained. Isn't that cool? Whoa, the Force. And she's so cool because she's a Mandalorian Jedi. It's just...
Not everyone can handle the type of discipline it takes to master the ways of the Force.
Bitch, are you for real?
Who cares? Like, we look at New Hope and guess what? Luke got 30 seconds of training before entering the Death Star for the first time. Literally 30 seconds. He had a visor put on and had to attempt to block blasters, and it's like, this doesn't work, guys. And this is literally what Sabine does, except for it's so long and drawn out just to like pad time in the show. Then we go to Hera and she's talking to the senators and going, well, I want to do this. And the senators go, no, you can't do this because we're incompetent. That was the scene, and it was just... I don't know, I'm tired of this shit. Like, they had enough evidence, they can just do it. You're just literally writing a roadblock to write a roadblock. But, no, well, it is what it is. But that wasn't even really the worst part of the episode. The worst part of the episode was just to come, which is the last quarter of the episode where Sabine and Asshoka finally get to the new star system where the super hyperdrive ring is. Which is just literally, you know, that hyperdrive ring that Obi-Wan used in episode 2? Yeah, it's that, except for bigger. It's got 6 hyperdrive engines attached to it, and it can go super fast and do super cool things.
You win this round.
When they're heading there, they go, we lost radio contact. Now, if I was a competent person, the moment I lost radio contact as I entered a star system, literally with Hera, a general, I would immediately turn around and get out of that star system instead of coming out of hyperdrive, because I'd be like, oh shit, they're definitely there. We can't go in there solo. We'll just get literally blown up in 2 seconds. Spoiler alert, they don't get blown up in 2 seconds. Go talk about that in a second. Instead they hop out and they go, well, it's the standard Jedi procedure to hop out of hyperspace at the edge of the system so that, you know, we can at least sneak up on them. And then, well, guess what? They get sneaked up on instead. Now you would think, well, that's because they understand how the Jedi work and they can predict what the Jedi motive opus operandum would be. And you would be right, except for they are flying literally worse ships than TIE fighters. And I say worse ships than TIE fighters because they hit Ahsoka's ship probably 15 times on many different occasions, and there is 0 damage to the ship. Now, I think back to The Empire Strikes Back when the Millennium Falcon was running away from three TIE fighters, not TIE destroyers, and they are blasting the shit out of the Millennium Falcon, and it's shaking and it's crashing and it's going, oh shit, shit's going down, and everyone's panicking like crazy. And they go into the asteroid belt in order to find cover, and they end up in the giant Sarlacc worm thing. I don't think it was a Sarlacc worm, but we're just going to call it that anyway. And they're inside that belly of the beast where they almost get devoured by the worm. This is what should be happening when they get attacked. Instead, they just literally go straight towards the ship that shoots turbo lasers, which are meant to destroy literal frigate-class ships, and the ship takes 0 damage. And but it goes out of power. Luckily, in the blind spot of these turbo lasers. Oh my god. And then, after that, Asshoka goes, don't worry, even though we're literally dead in the water, I'll distract them, and goes out into outer space. And with her lightsaber, reflect these stupid TIE fighters that aren't TIE fighters, that shoot pee-pee lasers that don't fucking do anything. And she just reflects them like it's nothing. Oh yeah, it's just a casual day out in outer space where I'm just reflecting lasers. My ship's dead, has 0 deflectors. They could just, crash into the ship and destroy it instantly. One suicidal pilot could have just ended this whole series right then and there. But no, we have to shoot directly at Asshoka, not at the giant ship. Not at the giant ship. We have to shoot at Asshoka. This is what kills immersion for me. I don't care about the Republic being incompetent. I don't care about the Sith always missing their shots. I don't care about that crap. But when they do this shit and there is literally no reason for it, it's just aggravating to the user, aggravating to the watcher, and completely destroys any and all immersion. I usually like to think about how I would rewrite these shows to make it better and keep, the same intent and goal of the episode. But this episode, it was so short and so stupid, I have literally no way to rewrite it to make it better. I think all of the scenes outside of this last third of the episode, they were competent, they were fine. They were somewhat necessary, somewhat not necessary. All it did was pad the padding of the episode out. And if I was the editor, I would probably just go, yeah, we don't need that scene. Nah, don't need that scene, make it shorter. That's all I would do. But anyway, they're dead in the water. Asshoka somehow distracts them, shooting at Asshoka instead of at the ship. For some reason. And then the ship comes back to life and they escape into the planet's surface. Now, when they're escaping, you'd think they'd come back into the range of the turbo lasers, but I guess there's no turbo lasers on the underside of the ring, or turbo lasers that could shoot when they escape from the ring, or just turbo lasers that do any sort of damage whatsoever. But we're ignoring this. They go into the planet's surface and they find the purrgils, which are apparently giant space whales that can swim between galaxies. There's another galaxy out there with another evil thing, is only cool once you have finished with the main galaxy that you're in. And quite frankly, they haven't even touched the main galaxy that they're in enough to say, yeah, it's time to go to a different galaxy. Have you somehow written yourself into such a corner that you have to go to a different galaxy to find a real threat for this completely incompetent Republic? There are so many stories you can tell with the Sith having a shadow of the Empire sort of thing. They could have just had a random base out in the galaxy and they could just been fighting the remnants of the Empire. And that would have been way more interesting. You could have just had Thrawn didn't go to a different galaxy. He was just hiding out in the corner of the galaxy and he had this army built up ready to fight back, We didn't need to go to a different galaxy. Anyway, they fly through all these purrgils and of course these useless TIE fighters do 0 damage yet again, and they can't even track them properly because, well, they're useless. And literally all they did was fly from in the cloud area where the purrgils are to below the cloud area. Now you'd think these TIE fighter people would go, oh shit, they're no longer in front of us. Hey, maybe they went below the clouds. Or maybe they went above the clouds. Let's split up. Go to below the clouds, go to above the clouds. Go, oh, there they are. We see them. They're landing over there. Okay, let's get some bombers in here. because they're going to have to land after repair their ship. They just lost power like 2 minutes ago, so they'll be on the ground somewhere. Let's go, do a bombing run. No, we don't do that. Instead, we just go, yeah, they're hiding out in the forest. Hey, you foot soldiers, go out in the forest and find them. What? You don't send droids out into the forest to find them. You literally have spacecraft that can fly in the air. You have the aerial domination. You don't have to deal with this threat anymore. You can literally just fly out, find their ship, drop a few bombs, destroy their ship, and just leave them stranded. Problem solved. You don't need to fight Ahsoka. You don't need to do jack shit. I mean, eventually they'll find Stonehenge, and knowing the convenience of this riding, Stonehenge is going to be literally 2 feet away from the ship where they landed. For some reason. It's a huge giant planet, and they could have entered from any single area. Well, you'd think they'd have the giant space ring near Stonehenge, but, they could have landed anywhere, went any direction, and would have completely missed Stonehenge for about 1,000 miles. But no, they're going to find it. It's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Whatever. Anyway, that's Asshoka Episode 3. A very short video, I reckon, because there's not really much to talk about. They've just chopped everything interesting from the episode out. There's nothing interesting in this episode outside of these last 3 minutes, and they're so badly written and just, ugh. Anyway, oh yeah, we also found out the masked guy's name. It's like Morgarth or something, I don't know. See ya.
You win this round.